If you've ever used a flat face trigger, you can skip watching this video and click that link below. You can be completely confident and ready to make a purchase that you're going to love for years to come. That was easy, fast, simple, quick, easy to produce video for the Palmetto State Armory flat face trigger. Real quick before we get this video started, how many of you have went over and subscribed over at my second channel, 360TS Shorts? It's not just shorts over there. I mean, I am posting shorts that give you a little insight, a little glimpse into future product reviews that are happening here on this channel, but I'm also posting bloopers and outtakes. Here's a little sample. Nobody respects me in this house. Not even the dog. The dog's over here in my office, being a dog, doing dog stuff. The kids are out there laughing and joking because I'm in here. I've got the expensive microphone picking up everything that they're saying. Hee hee hee, ha ha, Dad's pissed off in there because he's recording and we're being loud. You hear that? They're tiptoeing outside of the door right now. I can hear them whispering. I can hear them whispering. You guys aren't friggin' ninjas. Come on. Friggin' ninja your asses back upstairs and let me record. Okay, let's see. Where were we? So do me a solid and follow that link below over to 360TS Shorts and show some love. After you watch this video, of course. Seriously though, this thing is far from just a flat face trigger, so let's get into it. This isn't just a flat face trigger made by Palmetto State Armory. This is a match grade, single stage, drop in, flat faced trigger that you can buy for less than $100. I love flat face triggers, and anytime that it's an option, I'm gonna put them on my guns. Usually it gets a bit expensive doing that, but generally speaking, it's well worth it. Considering this is a PSA product, you know it's going to be good and you know you're going to get a great value. One of the cool things about a flat face trigger, aside from the way it feels on the finger, is the perceived difference in trigger pull. With a standard curved trigger, 5 pounds could actually feel like maybe 7 or 8 pounds if you're not actually measuring it with a gauge. With a flat face trigger, the mechanics can actually make that same 5 pound pull feel more like 3 to 4 pounds. PSA, of course, says that this trigger weighs in at 3.5 pounds. Through all my testing, it's getting on average right about 3.5 pounds. So the trigger weight is as advertised. If you do any competition shooting or hunting, this trigger is going to be perfect for you. And I know it is going to literally blow the minds of the YouTube staff that is reviewing this video, but yes, people can and do hunt with modern sporting rifles that you would consider as part of the AR family. The AR-10, for instance, is a great rifle for taking down larger game. You can build that rifle as a multitude of different calibers depending on how big of an animal you want to hunt. Then, of course, you can build your AR-15 out as a 300 blackout, and there are many, many people using that round to hunt different game, like, for instance, wild hogs. In places like Texas, wild hogs are doing a lot of damage. We're talking millions and millions of dollars worth of damage to farmlands annually. These are an invasive species, and in order to protect the food supply, the numbers have to be kept down. The weapon of choice seems to be the 300 blackout AR-15. One of these days I gotta get down to Texas. When you're hunting, when you're competition shooting, hell, pretty much all types of shooting, you want a nice, smooth, consistent trigger pull. You want a trigger that is heavy enough that it's going to be safe, yet light enough that you're not going to be fighting it when it's time to pull that trigger. The heavier the trigger, the more likely you are to throw your aim off while pulling it. The weight, along with the geometry of the trigger, can actually play a major part in how the gun performs. It's all about leverage and mechanical advantage with different trigger bow angles. But for me, flat face triggers really are the way to go. With a standard curved trigger, you get more of a scooping motion when you pull it. With the flat trigger, you're doing more of a clean press towards the rear, very similar to what you would do with a 1911. Why would that matter? Well, because accuracy. Getting rid of wasted movement increases the accuracy of your shots. Not to say that a curved trigger can't be accurate, they can, but every little advantage you can give yourself pays off with the end result. Another bit of wasted movement you'll notice doesn't exist within this PSA trigger. There's no take-up, there's no reset. For the most part, AR triggers don't have much, if any, take-up. Generally speaking, as soon as you touch that trigger, it's on the wall. Some triggers do have just a little bit of take-up, but it's usually not even measurable. There's nearly no over travel, and the reset is usually pretty short. So it's not really surprising that there isn't any of that on PSA's trigger. What is surprising is the way that it feels, and I really wish there were some way to capture that feeling on video. There's just no way to actually express it. Without you physically trying this trigger, it's hard to understand how it feels. The trigger feels incredibly stable. Forget the price. It feels great for any pricing. There isn't any weird movement, no slop, no wobble. You put your finger on the face of the trigger and that's it, you're on the wall. You give it just a little bit of a press and it fires. No over travel. The reset is very short, and then that's it. You're ready to do it all over again. What this means in terms of competition style shooting is that you're going to be able to let off very fast and accurate shots. Probably a lot faster and more accurate than you're capable of being. But let's face it, we all want a little more horsepower. If you're a hunter and you need the absolute most precise shots possible to take down the game that you're hunting, that PSA trigger is light enough that you can put your finger on it and take that shot at just the right moment. But it's also stiff enough that it's safe and you don't have to worry about taking that shot too early. Nobody likes taking their shot too early, am I right? Now let's say you have a range gun. If you're just looking for a little bit better performance, you definitely want to check these triggers out. You can benefit from one of these triggers no matter what type of shooting enthusiast that you are. Now let's say you don't like flat triggers. Let's say you love the old school curved style trigger. That's fine. They have these in both styles. The nice thing is that they are a true drop-in trigger. For those of you who don't have a lot of experience installing triggers and hammers, you just take your old one out, you drop this one in. It comes with the anti-walk pins. So you put the anti-walk pins in and screw them in. I'd recommend a little bit of Loctite. Once you secure the pins, they're not moving. You're ready to roll to the range. Now I went ahead and installed this trigger onto the budget build that I did a while back. And after testing it out, all I can think of is why in the hell didn't I put this trigger on at day one rather than 2 years later? I'll tell you why. They're hard to get a hold of. When they're in stock, you better add it to cart and check out, because otherwise you're probably going to miss out. This trigger gives you all the feeling and performance of a high-end trigger at a fraction of the price. The bottom line is, you know how I feel about Palmetto State Armory. These guys bring you the best equipment at the lowest possible pricing. Not only that, but they stand behind their products with the industry's leading warranty. If you want a drop-in single-stage trigger, don't waste your money on any of the high-priced options that are on the market right now. Get yourself the PSA drop-in trigger and don't look back.